Good morning, friends. Welcome to Ridgway, Colorado. Ridgway is a small town, kind of a, unsung hero of the little Colorado mountain towns. It gets largely skipped because Ouray and Telluride, especially Ouray, is extremely close to Ridgway. So Ridgway tends to get kind of skipped over. It's a bummer, because Ridgway is super cool. And because less people come here, it's way easier to enjoy yourself here. It's not so dang busy all the time. But I just got up and I am feeling the need for a coffee, which is handy because there's a coffee shop right across the street from my camping spot. It was strange. I've been sleeping in Grand Junction, which is a much bigger city than Ridgway, and it was almost kind of hard to sleep last night because Ridgway is so dang quiet. You kind of get used to meth heads screaming and people crashing rental scooters and loud trucks being all over you. So it's kind of strange to be in a place that was so dang quiet. So the quick skinny on Ridgway is that it's a small town of about 1,200 people in the North San Juan Mountains. They're at the Ridgway is on the foot of the San Juans. And historically it was a railroad town. The Rio Grande Railroad had a line that went through here, and it was used to bring I'm not sure if it's coal. I assume coal from Telluride and Ouray down to Montrose, which is north of here. But as rail transportation became less and less common through the early 1900s, the Rio Grande Railroad stopped their station here in the 50s. And Ridgway has a kind of a cool nickname. It's the town that didn't die, because there was a reservoir made here in the 70s, and the town was able to petition enough to have them move it further down the river. Ridgway is supposed to be underwater right now. If that reservoir was made and that dam was placed higher up in the river, Ridgway would be we would be underwater right now. So pretty cool history. The town is named after the superintendent of the Rio Grande transportation point of the area, Howard Ridgway. It's very relaxed here, like most small Colorado mountain towns, especially ones that aren't quite as popular. I'm not going to say Ridgway isn't popular. It's well known, but it just doesn't quite get the traffic that Ouray, Telluride, Aspen, those towns get, which is nice because locals get to enjoy this place still. It's kind of hard to enjoy a place like Aspen as a local because the tourists ruin it. That's a little skinny on Ridgway. And I'm actually pulling a sneaky on you guys. I'm actually filming 2 videos today. After I get finished with my coffee, I'm going to be going over to the Orvis Hot Springs in Ouray, or between Ridgway and Ouray, which is a clothing optional hot springs. It'll be my first time going to one of those. So I'm going to go hang out with a bunch of naked retirees. Should be fun. I'm going to end the morning section right here, and I will see you guys in the afternoon after I take a dip in the springs. Orvis. Back from Orvis, and I ate at that True Grit Cafe that I just showed. It was okay. It's kind of standard stuff. Their fries are definitely homemade. That's always nice. Their patties were definitely freshly pattied. They didn't come like in like a frozen box or anything. But for how expensive it is, but for how expensive it was, yeah. One thing is that the reason there is a cafe called True Grit in Ridgway is that the John Wayne movie True Grit was filmed near here. I think part of it was actually filmed in Ridgway. So the restaurant is full of John Wayne memorabilia. So if you're a big John Wayne fan, might be worth it for you. If you're not a big John Wayne fan, yeah. I don't know where else there is to get just like a regular old burger and fries. It might be the only option, so if you really want a burger and fries, that might be your only option. So I got lunch in me, and now we're gonna visit one historical landmark and a museum. Now this here was and is the Sherbino Theater. The entrance to when it was a full theater is right here on the corner. It's now the entrance to a pub called Colorado Boy. So that was the original entrance, and the Sherbino Theater opened in 1915, and it opened as a traditional theater. Its run of being the theater of the area was cut pretty short, because just a few years later, a businessman from a bigger city came in and made a motion picture theater, an actual movie theater. But the Sherbino kept on going. They had never been a movie theater. At one point, a wall was put in to divide it into two different properties. But in 1915, this place had 300 seats, which I think would be pretty damn close to the population of Ridgway and even the surrounding area. And ever since the Sherbino Theater was made, it's been a million different things. This theater had a very short part in the movie True Grit, the John Wayne movie. But they've turned it into a boxing ring. It's been a venue for orchestras, dances, plays, everything. And it's still operating today. Super cool, over 100 years old, and they've been doing the same thing there for over 100 years. I discovered this last night as I was coming into town. They have a little open-air railroad museum here. Makes sense, since the town was founded as a railroad station. Man, I just got bit by a freaking moth. I was filming, I saw this little bug land on me, didn't think much of it, it started biting out of me. So the Galloping Goose right here behind me, they still operate it. You can take it on this little miniature railway that surrounds the museum. Me and the Galloping Goose had a tough start because I was trying to give my sign-off for my video about Orvis Hot Springs, and the horn still works, and they use it very liberally, and I was trying to talk to the camera, but I forgive it. You gotta love those old death machine pieces of equipment. Like we saw there, the gear shift is right between your legs. I can only imagine what would happen if you were trying to relax, using a little miniature dozer to work on the railroad, and then it pops out of gear. And then you're officially fixed. I can't think of a more brutal way of receiving a vasectomy than that. Well, that dastardly weatherman was right. It was calling for afternoon showers, and they are now coming. I'm gonna put the camera away, and I'm gonna call it for the day, and I will see you cool cats tomorrow. Good morning, friends. Today, too. I'm going to open up today with a few fun facts about Ridgway. The first is a little boring, but kind of tells you how rural inclined this area is. Ridgway has the only stoplight in the county of Ouray. It's at the corner of Highway 550 and Sherman Street, which is the entrance to Ridgway. Another fun fact is Ridgway is where the Grammy Awards are made. Like the actual physical awards. Made by Billings Artworks here in town. And this may be kind of a warning. But if you're adversely inclined to hearing gunfire all day, or more specifically, if you have PTSD for the common reasons, you might want to avoid Ridgway if you're very sensitive to those sounds. There's a shooting range directly outside town. Funny enough, the shooting range is closest to the hot springs in town. So you're relaxing in the water and listening to the sounds of gunfire. It's kind of funny. But it kind of gives you a insight on the Colorado attitude. We're kind of a bunch of hippie gun owners. But today's going to be a short day. I'm just going to take a quick spin around the downtown area. The weather's looking much nicer today. We're starting our walk on Sherman Street, which is both a town street and a state highway. Because of this, like I said earlier in the video, it tends to be a little bit loud here. Lots of semi-trucks, engine braking, tends to be a little bit noisy. But No biggie. So I ate at that Nar Tacos my first night here, and it was my favorite American taco place that I've been to. I don't know if the whole country has these things, but there's these taco places that are popular in Colorado where you get charged like $6 or $8 frickin' a taco. It's ridiculous. And they piss me off, to be honest. It's really annoying. And like the tacos aren't even very good. They always go for being goofy and weird other than being actually good. So that being said, I got a pork belly taco from there. It was kind of reasonably priced. It was $6, and it was actually a good sized taco. A lot of those American taco places, they give you like a 2-inch tortilla with like barely anything in it. It's like literally 2 bites for $8. It's ridiculous. So I got the pork belly taco from there, and it was actually a decent slice of pork belly. But it was still just pork belly and arugula. And the goofy part is that there was like 4 halves of cherry tomatoes. So as you predict, you bite into it, the cherry tomatoes go flying because they're not particularly soft. The standout thing that I got there was their local nachos. I got it with chorizo. Flavor, fantastic. Serving size was pretty good. But the amount of meat they put in the nachos was not all that good. If you like fancy taco places, that's probably a pretty good one. Not really my thing, though. But that being said, it was my favorite of that style that I've had before. We're coming up on my favorite find here in town. It's not on the map, so don't look for it. It's just called the Patio, and it's directly next to the liquor store, the Red Liquor Store. And this place frickin' rocks. Their drinks are very reasonable, and just the feel out here is super relaxing at nighttime. They have that little propane burner right there, and I had a drink that was basically a frozen flatliner is what they called it, and that drink freaking rocked my world. It was really good and a very sneaky drink. You could definitely end up on your ass with that pretty fast. So something that's very handy is that Ridgway does have a full-service grocery store. It sounds weird to mention, but when you get into these small towns up here, it's something that you need to think about. And I've been there. It's very nice. Has all your standard stuff. Relatively small, so you might not be able to get your usual favorites, but for all the basics, and even more than the basics, they're great. Have a little deli in there, so very handy if you're visiting. Here you can see the obligatory bike shop in Colorado. So if you have a few $1,000s just burning a hole in your pocket, you are all taken care of. This morning I had breakfast at that Kate's place, and it was really, really good. Like, really good. I got the biscuits and gravy with 2 sunny side up eggs on it, and it was delicious. Also, my waitress there was very, very cute, which is always a bonus. I swear the food delivery truck knows where I'm going. It's haunting me. And taunting me. Whew, I am going to call this a wrap. It was really busy today, which is reasonable. They have the rendezvous starting up today. But I really enjoyed this time in Ridgway. Honestly, with how busy it was, it makes me a little bit worried about going to Ouray right now. I don't know, hopefully it'll be a little bit more reasonable there. But I'm gonna close out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. See ya!